Woba wasebengi bile madlozi nebandla ngisena lutho. Woba wasebengi bile madlozi nebandla ngisena lutho.
How this program started was one day in 2005, came home and there was a random volunteer in my house, a girl I didn't know was a volunteer, and her name was Jillian Wigglebottom, and that's how the program started.
We needed more help on the reserve. We're a very small family team. More business was coming in, there was more pressure on the wildlife, and we needed volunteers to come and assist us, and they needed to get work experience. Nkombi volunteers assist us greatly, and the reserve wouldn't be as functional without them. It allows us to get on with other jobs that we need to do. They play an extremely important role in just managing the reserve, monitoring the animals, helping us with fire breaks, helping us with game capture. So they really are essential to the running of Mankwe. And in return, they're getting invaluable work experience, which will hopefully get them jobs.
Alright, good morning everyone. Today we're going to be doing a routine anti-poaching patrol. Often guys come onto the reserve, set snares, and are very opportunist meat poachers. We're just going to be scanning the area for tracks and snares and things like that. So over here we've just found a snare. It's a very unique rope one. They're normally made out of wire. What happens here, it's sort of like a lasso. An animal will be walking by, and as it steps in and does that, it tightens.
Angisena baba, angisena yo malo. Angisena baba, angisena mama lo. Angisena baba, angisena yo malo. Angisena baba, angisena baba lo.
So we have many projects ongoing on the reserve. Some that lead to research papers, some that leads just some more management within the reserve. One of our major projects is the hyena project. So that looks at the hyena population we have on the reserve. About 5 years ago now, we had a 10-year-long hyena project, and the project we have now is about developing that program, understanding where the hyenas are now, because we had a bad poaching incident about 4 years ago where we lost a lot of the dens on the reserve. So the project looks at understanding where the hyena populations are now. Another project we have is the rhino project, where we're looking at the effect of dehorning. And we do a lot of behavioural studies on the rhino. And finally, we have a waterbird project, where we look at the changes in abundance and diversity and the waterbirds between the 3 dams we have on the reserve. All these projects lead to papers, hopefully lead to papers on, in the greater scheme of journals, but also develop the management on the reserve and help us understand what's going on here.
Angisena baba, angisena baba lo. Woba wasebengi bile madlozi nebandla ngisena lutho.
We've been doing some really important research. So main one at the moment is VCI, so we've been looking at the condition of the vales and the grasses and the vegetation and inverts and everything that we can kind of work out when we need to do burns and all sorts. So really important research that's going to help the reserve a lot.
I came straight out here from my degree, so all I had was, academic experience, no actual experience in the field. And like I say, you just come out here and you get involved in absolutely everything. So reserve management, research, working with the students, is just everything you get involved with. So it's more of a applied experience that you gain as a conservationist, I'd say, to back up the knowledge that you've made.
We field ecology courses and different field modules for 13 different universities in the UK, and we get on average between 300 and 400 students a year passing through Mankwe.
The volunteer programme is a great way for our students to gain an opportunity to work alongside conservation professionals and to build a network in order to get real-world experience and to develop their skills to give them the edge when they're working in a kind of such a competitive field as conservation is, both in the UK and I've had quite a few students and graduates attend the Nkombi Volunteer Programme over the years. This year particularly we've had a lot of students join us, so we've actually had 4 of our students and graduates come along and have helped run our field course whilst we've been at Mankwe.
In regards to the accommodation, it's certainly not a 5-star setup, so what it is we all have a cabin each with 1 or 2 beds in, and then there's a communal cooking area in which we all share the responsibilities of cleaning, cooking, evening meals. So like I said, it's not a 5-star experience, but it's a lot more communal, it's a lot more, you're totally in the bush, which I feel really adds to the experience of being here.
So the accommodation we have in the Nkombi Volunteer Camp is very rustic, but does make you feel like you're in the bushveld. It's a 3x3 meter wooden cabin. Depending on the time of year, you'll either be staying in one cabin or sharing it with another person. It's very simple but very comfortable, and it's a really unique experience.
In regards to the value, how much you pay, I've looked at other programs in South Africa, and what you pay for like 2 months here, you'd pay for a week in Kruger, for example, and the amount that you're actually allowed to do once you've built up trust with management. Me personally, I've been here a long time, so I'm allowed to just walk in the bush on my own and stuff, which is just a massive privilege. So the longer you're here, the harder you work, the more trust you build. So in regards to the safety of the reserve and getting to the reserve, when we get to Johannesburg Airport, it's straight away there's a transfer there waiting for us. They take us straight to the reserve, and then when we're working on the reserve itself, we're always out with a ranger who's normally armed, so our safety is one of the things that's upheld the most by the staff here, so there's no worries.
Never left on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
We ensure that the volunteers are met at the airport, brought to Mankwe, and they are with Mankwe staff till the time they leave and taken back to the airport. They are never left on their own. It's safe from the point of view that we have 24-hour fence patrols, we have gate access, and it's also in a malaria-free area, so there's no need to take anti-malarials. If there is a medical emergency, there are first ward hospitals within an hour's drive from Mankwe that are equipped to deal with any emergency.
On our days off, we go to Pilanesberg National Park, see all the animals there. So we've seen really good sightings of elephants, lions, buffalo, the rhino they have there. At lunch we normally go to a lodge and have some good food and chill by the pool. We've also been to Sun City. You go to the water park, chill by the pool again. But there's also lots of different activities to do. So there's the cinema, there's a zip line, lots of different things to do there. And we also go to Kaswani, which is a nice national park. There's really good waterfalls and sights there.
udlala amavolontiya wadlala amagwalankosi
udlala amavolontiya kudlala amagwalankosi
udlala amavolontiya wadlala amagwalankosi
udlala amavolontiya kudlala amagwalankosi.
I have already recommended this place to my friends. In fact, they're looking at coming next year, and I would 1000% come back myself. In fact, I'm also looking at coming back next year.
So I would hands down recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting conservation experience.
Having seen the Nkombi site this year, it's definitely something I'm going to recommend when I get home, and I've already started looking at flights for see how feasible it is to come back in next year and do it for a longer time, because like Carl was saying, you know, it helps to be here for longer. You know, you get to do a lot more the longer you're here, and I think only coming down for sort of 2 weeks as I have this year, it's not really enough. So I think if I can make it work next year, I'll try and come down for a month or so and actually see it a bit more in more detail.
wadlala amagwalankosi
udlala amavolontiya kudlala amagwalankosi
udlala amavolontiya amavolontiya amagwalankosi